Hello, folks. So we are looking today at Tuesday, December 8th. Our conversation today revolved around grain size. So we're going to start with our work from yesterday, looking at the possible rock groups, all those different options. We kind of started looking at things that kind of combine things like texture and shininess and patterns and some of those sorts of things. And we looked at grain size. So this is going to be something you'll definitely want in your notes. There's three main grain sizes and kind of a fourth unknown category. One, big grains. So these are things that are big enough to see with your eye. The science word for this is coarse, C-O-A-R-S-E, coarse grained rocks. And here's the list of coarse grained rocks. So gabbro, diorite, conglomerate, granite, gneiss, schist, and marble. So all of these are going to want in there, and of course being able to recognize these rocks. Next is kind of small grains. These require a microscope. This is fine grained is the word for this. So things that are small, they still have grains, but they're very, very tiny and hard to see with your eye and require a microscope. These are things like limestone, sandstone, rhyolite, slate, shale, basalt, chalk, and coal. And again, all of these things fall into that fine grained category. We do have some rocks with no grains. These get the designation glassy. So glassy rocks are obsidian and pumice. Obsidian is pretty straightforward. It looks like a piece of glass. Pumice, think about like a glass blower. So if you imagine lots of little teeny tiny bubbles instead of one big bubble in some molten glass. That's what pumice is. Even though it feels kind of gritty, like it might have some fine grains to it, it's actually a glassy rock, and what you're feeling is actually that little bits of glass breaking off. So that's pumice. And the no grains, the glassy texture. By the way, this last category of unknown andesite kind of falls into multiple categories here. Because if you look at andesite, you can see some of those big sparkly black sparkles, but there's also kind of that smooth, dull gray background with fine grains. So andesite is a mix of coarse grained and fine grained rocks. So it doesn't really fit into any category. And there's another category we'll get to a little bit later as we talk about how andesite is formed. And so that's kind of where we're at. We did work again with our Jamboards, kind of sorting these rocks. So I gave the categories and we worked through, and I sent people off in groups here to work through and sort the rocks into the groups that they thought. And then we kind of put those together and shared that as a class. So again, a lot of work on this Jamboard stuff, sorting and organizing rocks, and trying to figure out and come up with the best ways to organize these and what we need to know for the quiz on Friday. So kind of things coming up again, looking for the moon in the morning time is going to be your best bet. Rises late in the evening after midnight, and then is still in the sky in the morning. Tomorrow, of course, is an asynchronous learning day. You'll have another Edpuzzle video for you on that one, basically looking at a science current events article. And then we get back together on Thursday. We'll talk about one other way that we classify rocks and group them. Friday, we'll kind of have a quiz on this stuff. And of course, it'll be open note, the way most of my quizzes are. So if you have questions, as always, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, folks.